They thought that their juju is blindfolding everyone, that have confidence that they had caged the king, and they want to destroy everything between Kabiyesi and Naomi by laying hands on the prince to dash the future and hope of the king. Since they can, you can never be privileged to have a child of their own with the king. Ooni is an individual that no one can predict. I'm happy that the eyes of the world is in the happenings inside the palace. Hello people, and welcome to D&Z TV, the place where we have all the information that is about the entertainment industry, and also as it concerns the Ooni of Ife's palace. At this place, everything that is good, everything that is genuine, that is coming right from the source, we are here to give it to you. So as a matter of fact, so much has been happening recently at the palace of the Ooni of Ife. Yeah, so much has just been happening that we can't even understand, we can't even comprehend. And when it now goes to the boil down to the fact that Juju has even been increased and introduced into the palace, where there's so much manipulation and so much control. You know, everybody is struggling to have control. Everybody's struggling to manipulate. Everybody's struggling to be in charge. It's so pathetic that even people can't even sleep and keep up again because of the issues and happenstances that are actually tearing the palace apart. But what is actually baffling people is the fact that everything they do is boiled down to one thing alone, which is to destabilize the Ooni of Ife. And it's so pathetic and so annoying that no matter how the Ooni tries to be on his own, to be on a kumkum, to be in charge of his family life, people still come around to bring issues, to cast aspersions. They cast aspersions on the Ooni of Ife. They cast aspersions on Kabiyesi. They cast aspersions on Queen Naomi. Not minding the fact that Queen Naomi, when she left the palace, she had so many suitors who willingly wanted to come and take her to be with her. I mean, if you want to count the number of suitors who are actually looking for Naomi's hand in marriage, you can never exhaust the list, because each day that passes, more and more people keep on coming, more and more people keep on craving, more and more people keep on coming into the palace to get a hand in marriage. But the Ooni has actually said it, that until he does not exist anymore for anybody to take control of Queen Naomi. Yeah, she does not exist. They've tried, they've fought, they've done everything, but she still remains resolute. Because, I mean, psychologically, technically look at it this way. In the history of the palace, how many people have ever been married that came back to the palace? As in, you got married to the Ooni of Ife, you got divorced, and suddenly you want to come back. It doesn't happen that way. It has never happened that way. The way it is that wherever anybody comes to the palace and decides to leave for whatever reasons known best to the person goes for good. But in the case is different now with Naomi, because even after she got married to the Ooni of Ife, there are still allegations that she's going to be coming back. Even when I know that a lot of her non-lovers are doing everything humanly possible to make sure she does not come back to the palace. But the Ooni is still fighting tooth and nail to make sure that she comes to the palace. The Ooni even went as far as even planning to organize a wedding. There was a planned wedding. Ivies were sent everywhere. Things were drastically done. And suddenly, the wedding was called off because Naomi was not more comfortable the way things were happening. And now, not minding the fact that Naomi is actually trying to show the Ooni that she doesn't really like the fact that she's being manipulated or being controlled, she is still in charge of the Ooni of Ife. And the Ooni of Ife is still trying to do everything possible in his own cartel to see and make sure that he comes and gets Naomi back. That's some of the happenstances that have been happening in the palace. And that is why, no matter how they've tried to blindfold everybody with the juju and they applied into the palace, the confidence is still there, that Naomi is still very confident of her man. Naomi has not for one day lost sleep, because I know that if it were some other people out there, they could have lost sleep. They have been trying, they have been striving, they have been putting pressure to know and see that the king is caged, but the king is always fleeing away like a free bird. Yes, the king is always fleeing like a free bird. Now, the biggest bone of contention they have now is the arrival of Prince Tade, because before now, every other person didn't have a child. So they now felt that, okay, since all of them no get pikin, all of them did the same level. But now, God now decided to elevate Ooni by making sure that he gives Queen Naomi a son. And this son in question now has actually come to solidify the love and friendship between the Ooni of Ife and Queen Naomi. And these are some of the things that the people cannot even comprehend. They can't even comprehend. And now, some of them are even trying to lay finger or lay a hand on Tade. But you know that the God of Naomi will always and definitely still fight for Queen Naomi. God of Prince Tade will protect and cover him, so that no weapon of the enemy formed against him is going to prosper. That child is a child of grace. That child is a child of virtue. The boy came with a staff in his hand. So no hope is lost for Prince Tade. Prince Tade still remains the higher apparent. Even if Tobi Phillips decide to born Jesus Christ today, Mariam, Olori, Naomi is still the best, and no one is going to take his place. And now, do not also understand that they can never be a privilege to have a child of their own like Tade. And Ooni is an individual that no one can predict. You see, this is some of the things that a lot of people don't understand. That Ooni can never be predicted. The more you try to understand or predict Ooni, the more he brings up some more issues and some other more things that you can't even comprehend, you can't even understand. They have tried, they have done everything humanly possible. Now, if I want to ask you now, which one is better for you? You want an Ooni that will come and pretend that he's faithful, or you want an Ooni who will always remain strong and resolute, knowing that he is a first-class monarch? Not just any kind of first-class monarch, but the best and the biggest first-class monarch in Africa. So in as much as people try, in as much as people strive, in as much as people do what they want to do to bring down the palace, somehow he still has a way of surviving. He still has a way of remaining relevant. Just like what the Bible said, that though they'll come in 7 ways, God will make 70 ways for you to flee. And if you noticed, Ooni has always been excelling. Ooni has always been very straightforward. Ooni has always been very diplomatic in all his doings. That at the end now, people seem not to understand the Ooni. Well, the better you don't understand people, the better for them. I don't even expect them to understand Ooni. Ooni does not even owe anybody an apology. All the Ooni needs to do is just to remain strong, remain resolute, and I tell you something, the Ooni will always and definitely remain a fruitful and better person until the end. Yes, so people, this is where we'll be stopping on this conversation this afternoon. If you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Quickly go to the notification button, click comment and like. And if there's anything you want to talk about on the channel, let us know. And guess what? We will talk about it. All right, thank you and see you some other time. Bye-bye.